I own an older home, and my Masonite siding is getting pretty weathered and pretty rotten. I need to replace multiple pieces, and I don't want to reside the entire house. Manufacturers stopped producing Masonite siding, so that's a problem. Hardie Board is basically the replacement now. I'm going to try to replace a few of the pieces with the Hardie Board, but you need to be very careful. It has galvanized nails, and the Masonite siding basically crumbles as you go to pull it away. So I'm going to show you a few tips when nailing and how to remove the old stuff without tearing it up too bad. Maybe you can reuse some of the pieces. I found a flat pry bar works really well, and a claw hammer can kind of help you out. Tin snips or wire cutters to cut off those nails underneath, and then a good set of pliers. So the way siding is laid on the building, it starts at the bottom, and then each piece above it lays over top of the one below it. So you're going to have a hard time, unless you destroy a piece and then, work your way from top to bottom. The middle piece was junk. I ripped that out. But then the other pieces I'm going to try to work with. So, you got your pry bar, jiggle it in there directly at the location of the nail. Use your claw hammer to kind of pry on it. You can pull it away, but you don't want to be gentle. The main thing here is to focus on, gently applying pressure to get the piece out. After you get everything removed, you may want to take a chalk line and snap lines across the building so you have a reference point for your new pieces of siding. I also took some of the old siding and then measured the distances, lengths of the siding. That way I could just cut it from the new Hardie board that I'm going to be using, which I bought at my local lumber mill. I saved all the side tin because I'm going to cover that back up. But then for my new piece, you have a template. You could also measure. Typically, my Masonite siding is 12 inches in width by 1 inch deep. That's pretty standard. So I purchased the appropriate Hardie board that matched those dimensions. So you could either take your measurements before or after. That way when you purchase the Hardie board, you know exactly, they come in like 12 or 16 foot lengths, but then you know how much to get. There's some of the drawn lines to kind of just help me, guide where I need to put the new piece. I'll line it up towards the bottom there, and then you can stack them on top of one another. That way water doesn't get underneath it. You want to have at least an inch overlap between the siding. And then, so there's the wire cutters. I was having trouble, so I don't want to mess that piece of siding that's above it up. So I'm going to cut the nails, their galvanized nails, out, and that way I can slide the new siding up underneath it and then reuse those same holes. But so I'm going to start cutting my pieces of siding. I have a speed square to get it level, and then you'll want a specialized saw blade that's specifically for the Hardie board, since it's a cement board. It needs to be like a cement blade bought just for that, as well as the drill. So the drill, you want to pre-drill the nail holes. You'll want a masonry bit, and they say 1 inch is what you want from the top, and then you want the boards to overlap about 1 inch. So I got some galvanized box nails, a masonry drill bit, and a masonry saw blade. And then you can see I've pre-drilled some of the holes. Something I'm showing here is the Hardie board has a bad side and a good side. So you want the good side to face out. It just has a smoother texture, looks better. So I've got the siding lined up here, and just gonna plumb it, make it nice and square, parallel, and then you can go ahead and nail the galvanized nails. Because I'm using a hand hammer as opposed to like an air nailer, they recommended that I pre-drill the holes. But if you had a nail gun, you could just shoot those in without pre-drilling the holes. But I'm old school, so I just have a regular hammer. And there you go, we've got the galvanized nails lined up. And there is going to be a little bit of a thickness difference between the two sidings. So the old Masonite is a little bit thicker, and this Hardie board is thinner. But, they're roughly about the same otherwise. You can put some caulking in the corners. Make sure to cover up your nail heads. You don't want any extra moisture getting in there and damaging the siding. And then you have that corner piece, which is just aluminum. It's like a flashing or whatever that covers the side pieces and keeps water out of there. So I'm going to reuse those, and then I'm going to paint and seal everything once it's all done. One thing to keep in mind is you should have about a 6-inch ground clearance, which I clearly do not. It'll help keep the moisture from going up the siding and then prematurely ruining it. You also want to keep away vegetation and other plants away from the siding, because that'll also cause damage that could void your warranty. I'm going to finish up the pieces by buying an exterior latex paint and then painting. Check out another video over here. If you shop at Amazon, I've got links down in the description to save you money. It'll also throw a couple of pennies at me. No cost to you. Any other questions or comments, put below. Thanks.